Hello.
Hello. This is Alice. I'm Amy. We're a little bit new to public speaking, but we've actually gotten quite good at closing roads for play.
So that was a little bit silly, but we feel that street play is actually crucial, not only for children's health, but for their sense of connection with other people and with their environment. So Amy and I live across the road from each other, and 2 years ago we started talking about how as children we had this kind of freedom to roam and play outside that we now don't feel able to give our own children, mostly because of increased traffic, but also because there's a more general culture of fear about children playing out unsupervised.
We started thinking about how we might make our street safer just for the children there to play out. And we imagined maybe a short road closure after school. We consulted with our neighbors and we applied to the council for a road closure just as a one-off experiment. We didn't get a bouncy castle, we didn't supervise the games, we just offered the children the space and permission to play. And, oh no, we did give them some chalk, I think.
But the children loved it, and parents that came from neighbouring streets asked if we could help them to do the same thing on their street. So we applied for some funding to do this, and the Playing Out project was born. We put everything we knew onto a website, and we've also been directly helping people to do this on their own street.
We've been really surprised at how easy it's been. We've had between about 15 and 50 children ranging in age from infants to young teenagers. Sometimes the children are meeting each other for the very first time. They're meeting their neighbors. People haven't even known they've been there. When we've had to redirect traffic, it's normally no more than about 15 cars in a 2.5-hour period, and that's on the busier streets. On the quieter streets, it's often more like 2 or 3 cars, and sometimes none at all. So we've had elderly neighbors come out and share their memories of their childhood street play. That's been really nice. Also, residents without children and students have come out. They've helped steward, and they've just come to share a cup of tea. They've all welcomed it quite a lot. Yeah. I think we've now done it in every single season, and this was a particularly rainy day just recently. And when we were looking around, we reckoned that the number of children getting a really good dose of active physical play on that street was much more than would have been happening in the nearby park.
So when we've consulted formally with residents about the road closures, we found that most people are either actively supportive of the idea or they don't really mind, but we've had very few outright objections. When objections have come, they've actually been quite useful. We've tried to have an open dialogue with people about their concerns, and they've been useful for helping to shape the project.
Mm-hmm. One question that has come up is, why should we close the streets for play when there are parks nearby? I had something very good to say about that. It's not that streets, it's not that parks aren't great resources. We love parks and we go to parks all the time, but the argument that they can fully meet children's need for play is flawed.
And it's flawed because children just aren't getting to these designated play spaces on a regular basis. They don't often have independent, easy access to playgrounds and parks. And also they somehow segregate play from normal everyday life. We know that we've got a childhood obesity epidemic in this country. Children are spending more and more time in sedentary activities, indoors, watching TV, and that kind of thing. And this has been linked to a lack of the ability to play outside, and particularly after school.
So in order for children to be active on a daily basis, play needs to be just quite a lot more integrated than it is now. And streets offer this possibility.
Another question that we often get asked, probably can guess, is what about the cars? So with our current model for Playing Out, we have stewards there to let residents drive in and out if they need to, and to do that safely, and to redirect other cars. But often residential streets mid-afternoon look something like this. They're pretty empty, barren spaces, and there aren't that many cars to turn away. somehow we've come to accept that roads are just for cars, and you know, they're something of a wasted resource. We've retreated from them into our houses and increased our car dependency because of it.
The
and the consequences for this are totally unacceptable.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I mean, that was my line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't say it.
Now you've thrown me, Alice. So the unacceptable consequences. No.
But the good news is.
The good news. The good news is that the success of our project has shown us that with really minimal intervention, we can actually start to reverse this retreat, and that streets are perfect for play.
Yeah, one mother at one of the sessions said, you know, a little bit of inconvenience for motorists is actually a very small price to pay for the children to come out and play en masse. By playing out on your own street, you develop a sense of connection and belonging to your community. You get to observe and engage with diversity of everyday life, with people of different ages and backgrounds. And for both children and adults, it's actually really important for remembering our interdependence and for the importance of care and responsibility for each other.
There's also a really lovely sense of connection to your environment that comes from being able to play out and explore the area right around your home. I think that's all about that.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to say that...
No, our hero, David... our hero, David Entvich, says that, that when children are negotiating and reimagining their street space through play, they're not just learning stewardship and placemaking, they're actually developing skills that enable them to be really active members of a democratic and cooperative society. So they need those skills, and play can give them those skills.
So most of us probably have fond memories of playing out as children without any need for road closures or stewards. These photos are from an exhibition currently showing at Liverpool's Walker Gallery, and they're from the 1970s, not that long ago.
However, while our memory is a fantastic motivator for change, we can't afford to be nostalgic in this instance.
We need to look at the situation that we've created as a society and see what needs to change and what we can do about it right now. So there are many other examples of people reclaiming streets for play and for life all around the world, and we feel really privileged and excited to be part of this wider movement.
Yeah. The current model that we're doing as for playing out is just, for us, it's just kind of an awareness-raising exercise and not an end in itself at all.
No, it's just an immediate response to a need for communities to regenerate a sense of trust in each other, and for us to all remind ourselves that children are a valuable part of society and that they very much belong, as all of us do, on our streets and in our neighbourhoods.
That's what we've got.
Thank you.